There are a lot of really exciting 2- and 3-horse races at this year's Oscars. Some would argue this is the most important. That is Michelle Yeoh versus Cate Blanchett, Best Actress. Who is taking it home? Did you guys see my video yesterday with Austin Butler and Brendan Fraser? If not, go check that out. But right now, we're talking Best Actress. If you guys are here and you have thoughts, I know you do, please leave your comment down below. Yesterday's discussions were awesome. Some were very passionate, but I appreciate that. And I'm sure it's going to be the same case with this. Today, we're going to talk about both nominees, what they have going for them, and how I believe this is going to end up. And then if you want to see it, I'll bring my full Oscar predictions possibly tomorrow. Leave that like down below to support this video. Let's start with the amount of nominations that each movie has received and what the hype levels are for both films right now. Obviously, the one of note here is Everything Everywhere All at Once with 11 Oscar nominations. This movie across the board has been praised throughout the entire year last year, but the question was posed, is it going to get the love that we all think it deserves, or most of us believe it deserves? It absolutely did. Not only was it getting the love with the nominations, it has been getting the love lately with the wins in pretty much every major category that we can, rightfully so, predict it to win Best Picture. Do I believe it's going to win Best Picture? Well, that's for you guys to find out in my predictions video, but it has everything going for it right now. Everything Everywhere All at Once. You see what I did there? He said it! He said it! Cate Blanchett in Tar. Tar got 6 Oscar nominations, which honestly was more than some people expected. I knew when I watched Tar that it would be a beloved movie by voters. I just didn't know how beloved. Is it going to get Best Picture and Actress and maybe a couple more here and there? Well, 6 is a really good number. And for a while, especially looking at critics groups, Tar was a movie that was being celebrated more than it is now as a whole, but the one thing that's remained consistent throughout every single award ceremony is the love for Cate Blanchett. Even the ceremonies that she hasn't brought home the final award, which she has in most of them, it's still the talk of the town. Is Cate Blanchett going to win, or is someone else going to come in and upset her? Basically, she has been the favorite throughout award season. She's backed that up with victories. We'll talk about victories here in just a second. But you also look at the role that she's playing. It's much more of a traditional Oscar-winning role, an Oscar-winning performance, a character study, if you will, based around a character. And the weight of that entire movie was on her shoulders, whereas with Michelle Yeoh, it was much more on the shoulders of the cast, the director, and she is playing someone in Evelyn who isn't really a part of the world that we're living in. This is a full-on sci-fi movie. This is an outlandish movie. It's not the type of performance that usually brings home Best Actress or Actor. At least, it wouldn't have been the type of performance 5, 6, 10 years ago. I think lately, more of these somewhat outlandish performances have been looked at. I look at Joaquin Phoenix winning for the Joker. Yes, that's a character study, but it is in a comic book role. And you can say we got that in 2009 with Heath Ledger, but that was breaking the boundaries. It had really never happened before for a comic book movie. And some of these nominated performances over the last 5 to 6 years, maybe not the winners, but some of them have been from movies that are a bit less of the standard character study that we see. So I like seeing that starting to change in the industry a bit more. Guess the next step is including horror movies. Still mad about Toni Collette all those years later. And the question I have about a movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it's at the top of everyone's list right now for Best Picture, it just keeps winning all of these awards ceremonies, the SAG, the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, PGA. As a movie, it is at the top of everyone's list right now, and it is frankly the far and away favorite for Best Picture at the Oscars. Does that mean anything?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
She stands out as maybe the favorite, and you could argue Ke Huy Quan, he is the favorite in his category, so I think that is a nice argument to be made. But she stands out in a movie that is an ensemble, and a lot of people are pointing to her and saying, this is the defining role of her career. Can you say that about Cate Blanchett? Well, Cate Blanchett, she's someone who has won 2 Oscars, and this would make it 3 out of the last however many years it is, but someone who has been there and done that in the industry before. She has gotten her due. She has acknowledged that she's gotten her due, and she's actually been one this award cycle that has come out and said, yeah, you know, basically, right, not verbatim, but basically, yeah, I'd love it if Michelle Yeoh won.
You did it! Congratulations!
I've gotten the love before. Michelle Yeoh is someone who hasn't necessarily gotten this level of love before. This is I believe her career-defining performance, someone who has had numerous amazing roles, and you could argue, a movie like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, she should have gotten more recognition for that, but didn't. This would also be amazing for those that look at representation in Hollywood and say, well, this is a defining moment for something like that. And the fact that this would kind of break some of those boundaries. Now, does all of this matter when you're looking at performance versus performance? No. And honestly, it shouldn't. You should just be judging the performances here because that's what people should be voting off of. But are they going to vote off of that? Well, by me saying that, it doesn't acknowledge that Michelle Yeoh gives one of the best performances of the year. It's like, all of these underlying factors and Everything Everywhere All at Once is such a great movie, and of course we're going to vote for the best performance and the best movie. Tar not being looked at on that level. No, it should be performance versus performance. Does Michelle Yeoh hold a candle to Cate Blanchett? And my answer simply is yes. I think both give amazing performances on the same level, just in drastically different circumstances. So these outside and underlying factors, they are important, and honestly, they go in Michelle Yeoh's favor, but they should not come into play when you're voting for the best performance. And let's say that's the case, but even with that being the case, we can look at the awards that they've won already. Cate Blanchett taking home the BAFTA, the Critics' Choice Award, a couple of really important Critics Awards, kind of separate from the prime, the heart of Oscar season, and the Golden Globe. Now, Michelle Yeoh also took home the Golden Globe for a different category, but she also had the SAG. Now, last year was a weird occurrence because the BAFTA winner wasn't even a nominee at the Oscars, so what happened there? But the last 9 out of 10 times, the BAFTA winner was the Oscar winner. But you also have to look at the order of the two ceremonies. It's something I didn't really talk about yesterday with Brendan Fraser. I said the SAG momentum is going to carry over into the Oscars, but the order in which they were presented to us last year was SAG and then BAFTA. So it was the BAFTA momentum that went into the Oscars. This year, it's the SAG momentum because the BAFTAs happened first, the SAG happened second, and a lot of these Oscar voters, they may be going off of momentum, the previous awards winner, what's kind of the vibe going into the Oscars, and I would say the Screen Actors Guild is a big part of the vibe going in because it's the ceremony that just happened. And guess who won the SAG? That's Michelle Yeoh.
So I am confusion.
Now, I said 9 out of the last 10, so lately it's been more of a BAFTA winner. It should translate to the Oscar winner, but if you look at the overall scale, Screen Actors Guild Awards, they've existed for the last 28 years. 20 out of the last 28 years, the Screen Actors Guild Award winner goes on to win the Oscar. Only 16 out of the last 28 years. Could we say that is the case for the BAFTA winner? So lately it's been the BAFTA winner. Overall, since the beginning of the SAG's existence, I would say the Screen Actors Guild Award winner has more of that momentum. And this year, that being Michelle Yeoh, plus the fact that the Screen Actors Guild just happened, the BAFTA happened a couple of weeks back, I would say momentum is leaning in the favor of Michelle Yeoh, even though up until that point, like I said, it has been Cate Blanchett's award to lose. That should tell you how quickly things can shift and change in this crazy awards madness.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
So yeah, this video is not as extensive as yesterday's, but it simply comes down to a handful of factors. The fact that both performances are so different, both movies are so different. A lot of the hype and momentum leans in the favor of Everything Everywhere All at Once as a film, and as of now, as of late, it's been in Michelle Yeoh's favor, but Cate Blanchett has been the favorite throughout most of awards season. So is everything shifting so quick going to work against her when it comes to Oscar voting? And my simple answer, the fact that voting just recently happened and they had a chance to see where that momentum was, my answer is I'm just not confident.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
My answer is Michelle Yeoh. I believe the recent twist in the awards season hype and madness in her favor is going to do it. And I believe her performance warrants it. Now, if you're asking me my personal favorite performance out of all of these nominees, I would probably lean in Cate Blanchett's direction. But I love them both so much and so equally, I don't mind going with my gut here. I don't mind, once again, going with momentum. And I mentioned momentum yesterday, heavily favoring Brendan Fraser. At the moment, it shifts every 5 minutes, but at the moment, it's favoring Brendan Fraser, and I think at this point, it's favoring Michelle Yeoh. So I'll either go 0 for 2 I'll go 2 for 2, or I'll go 1 for 2. There's literally nothing else that can happen other than those 3 options. Do you understand? But this doesn't work without your thoughts and your comments. You guys made some very compelling arguments yesterday, and I appreciate the support and the love, and if you'd love to do that again on this video, that would be fantastic. But I'm working on the big picture. I'm working on my predictions overall. Come Sunday, we're doing a full-on reaction video to the Oscars. Then we will talk about the fallout the very next day. And heck, within 48 hours, I'll be doing early predictions for next year. You can't stop me! Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it big time, guys. Also, stay tuned. Plenty of reviews to come. I now know when I'm seeing John Wick, and Thursday, I'm seeing Scream 6. I'll see you soon.